Thank you, Minister. The first slide, and also budget paper 4, but on the first slide you pointed out that water infrastructure is critical to the government's housing statement and delivery of that. How many vacant residential blocks in Victoria have full sewage and water infrastructure in place now compared to pre-COVID 2018-19? Do we have those figures?
No, the water corporations might have those figures, but we certainly wouldn't have that level of operational detail.
You couldn't supply those on notice or get any of those figures?
It's not held by the department.
So do you know of any developments that are waiting on that infrastructure for full water and sewage infrastructure now compared to pre-COVID?
Again, that is not something that has come to our notice.
Okay. Do you have any idea of the level of debt that each water corp's in right now and how it compares again to pre-COVID? Just trying to get an idea of where we're at.
So in terms of lines of borrowing, it's pretty business as usual for water corporations to undertake that. They do that to fund a range of things. There's nothing unusual, as I understand it, unless the department, Andrew.
No, it's standard practice that they do run through a level of debt. They do have debt borrowings that they can actually apply through Treasury for, and they're all within those particular bounds at the moment. The debt levels will be actually set by their capital programs, and the capital programs are actually approved by the Essential Services Commission, and they're able to fund that level of debt within there. So the level of debt, whether it's pre-COVID or sort of post-COVID, will vary depending on the capital programs for the water corporations.
Okay, thank you. Also in the presentation in the beginning, you mentioned that Melbourne's not expected to face water restrictions. We know that the storage is about 73% at the minute. Mm-hmm. But the experts suggested an order for 50 gig, I think, from the desal plant. Who are the experts that are recommending that 50 gig order?
This is the advice that the department receives. Kirsten, would...
So from Melbourne Water and the Melbourne Metro retailers.
Okay. Okay. And Melbourne Metro retailers, you said?
Water retailers.
Right, okay. All right, excellent. Thank you for that. Can we just talk about also the SYDLAM projects really quickly? It is of special, the Sustainable Diversion Adjustment, Sustainable Diversion Limit Adjustment Mechanisms. SYDLAM's in my part of the world. Timelines have been extended now. How are those projects progressing?
Andrew, you will want to talk about this.
So there's the two main projects, and as you rightly say, a lot of them are within your area. So we've got the Constraints project, and we've got the Victoria Murray Floodplain Restoration project. Yep. I'll take the Floodplain Restoration project in particular. There's 9 projects that we're looking at for that program of works. There's 3 that we're still looking at the moment that we're on track to deliver by 2026. Mm-hmm. There's one in regards to the Belsar site that was assessed as not actually providing the overall benefits, so that one won't be progressed at this particular stage, and we are looking to progress the other 5 projects to a point.
So Belsar's off the program?
Yeah, at the moment it is, because it didn't actually stack up within the overall benefits.
Right, okay. When the funding lapsed and there was a period of uncertainty, we lost a lot of good staff, and you mentioned the CMAs in the program as well, and the Mallee CMA, Jenny and James, have kept going and they are brilliant. We lost a lot of good people though. Where are staffing levels at now to make sure those projects are completed?
I can't give the exact numbers for the staffing levels within it, but we have continued to ramp that up, and as you rightly say, the project is being delivered under the guise also of Lower Murray Water, so we're using that as the main vehicle to do it, but it relies heavily as well on our catchment management authority, so it does run as a reasonably sort of small project team within the office, but does that in relying on the catchment management authority, such as the Mallee CMA, as you've outlined, and North Central CMA there as well.
So the Mallee CMA and Lower Murray Water have enough staff now to make sure that's delivered by 2026?
That's correct.
Right.
Program's running through, that's correct.
And Minister, will Victoria meet its obligations under the Basin Plan? And the previous Minister, Minister Shing, was excellent at digging her heels in and continuing to fight against buybacks. I trust you're going to continue with that same plan?
Absolutely. I think that it was probably my first week back in Parliament after being bestowed the honour of being Water Minister that I stood up and made it very clear to the sector and to anyone that's interested in the
we're
River
interested, all right.
that I have got a very similar position, if not the same position, as the former Minister for Water, Ms Harriet Shing. I also, of course, showed the chamber the prospectus documentation and talked about the need for communities to continue to talk amongst themselves and with government to work through the best possible solutions. I also have talked to the Minister, the new Minister, Federal Minister Murray Watt, in relation to buybacks, and he is very clear that I made it clear of what the Victorian Government's position is in respect to that.
Is his position the same as the previous Water Minister, or is that the reason that she's lost that portfolio?
Well, that's subject to commentary that I'm not party to, and I wouldn't think it's important, particularly for this hearing, to go into any discussion about the way federal portfolio matters are distributed. But can I say that I've had a really good relationship with Murray Watt when he was Agriculture Minister at a federal level and I was State Minister for Agriculture. We worked very, very close on biosecurity matters, and I believe that we will be able to continue to work together productively. We've got different positions, different views on buybacks, but I'm sure that we can have a productive relationship.